Creepercast, episode 29.
Hey, I'm Jay Fosgett, creator of the graphic novel Dead Duck, and you're listening to the Creepercast.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Creepercast with Jeff and Jason, a podcast about horror and the horror genre. I'm Jason.
And I'm the other guy, Jeff.
The other guy, Jeff.
I'm the guy you always say first. But I always talk second.
I got to give you some sort of credit. So...
Anyway, my sinuses keep draining into my throat, and it's driving me nuts.
Okay, well, let's pretend you didn't say that.
Okay.
Well, I want to let everybody know while we get into this, since we're for some reason starting off really, really slowly today, if you want to get a hold of us, call us at 206-350-0411. You can also send us an email at thecreepercast@gmail.com. That's thecreepercast@gmail.com. And what are we going to talk about today, Jeff?
We're going to talk about the movie you mentioned last time around because our new sponsors, okay, they're not really our sponsors yet, but Netflix has this wonderful new horror thing going on, and we've decided we were going to review a zombie movie.
Right.
That they're calling Zombies, which apparently was on...
Zombie!
Which is apparently listed under a different name if you look anywhere else. Because when I tried to look up that name, I couldn't find anything, except I somehow came across an accidental link that had it attached to a title called Wasting Away. And IMDb was really letting me down because it wasn't giving me any information, but I did finally find some.
Well, that's good that you finally found some. This is a 2007 film, and before we get into the film, what do you say I play the trailer for us?
Yeah, why don't you play the trailer for us?
For us.
Ladies, prepare yourself for the ultimate in refreshment.
Did you put beer in the soft serve?
Oh, I feel weird.
What was in that crap?
You've all been exposed. 2,000 hours this evening. A truck involved in an accident spilling at the military project designed to create a new breed of super soldier.
Are you saying we are all super soldiers?
It appears so.
Oh, that's awesome!
Don't you know what you are? We're not super soldiers.
We're zombies?
I don't feel like a zombie.
Yeah, well, idiots don't feel stupid, but they are.
Are you eating that guy's brains?
Yes.
You are so disgusting.
There has to be a cure.
If there is, it's with the colonel and the doctor. Be in the briefcase. We have to stand together, or we will fall apart.
Don't just talk, fight!
Wait a second, sir. Wait. It's so hot.
We're talking about a national crisis here.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Maybe we could try to blend in, get some night jobs or something. We're zombies, not illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
idiots don't know they're stupid, but they are.
So this is a 2007 movie directed by Matthew Conan.
Something like that.
It's a really interesting take on the zombie phenomenon, the zombie movie, because we're so used to seeing zombies as these slow-moving creatures, and from our point of view, or from the survivor's point of view, and this completely flips it. This is a movie shown from the zombies' point of view, where they don't even realize that they're zombies until about 2/3 of the way through the movie.
Yeah. That is one of the wonderful things about this movie, and it's like every stereotype that exists in a zombie movie, only reversed.
Yeah. So basically, the quick rundown of it, I'm going to do this off the top of my head because, like you said, I just tried searching the IMDb on it and I can't find it. It's a movie about these kids that end up making some or eating some ice cream with green beer. And this beer has a chemical that was developed by the military that ends up turning you into zombies. Very similar to the Return of the Living Dead. You know, the green stuff that turns people into zombie or turns things into zombies.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of similar to that.
Very similar.
And so they end up eating it, and they get these wicked ice cream headaches. And when they all come to, they realize that everybody is moving really fast like chipmunks. Well, to them, they're moving incredibly, or to everybody else, they're moving incredibly slow, and they're zombies, they're dead, and it is hilarious, some of the stuff that they get into. You have at one point where they're talking, the only way to talk to people is to get them drunk, which is hilarious. This isn't your typical... What I was going to say is this isn't your typical horror movie. I mean, this is really a make fun of movie. It's a fun movie. I mean, there were many points where I was actually on the ground laughing because, you know, it'll show them and they'll be like dancing or making out or something. And to them, it's this really passionate kiss. But to everybody else, it's just two zombies with tongues out slobbering on each other.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, it's hilarious in a lot of ways. You kind of jumped ahead a little bit, and I will let you know that you can find it on IMDb, listed under Wasting Away, which apparently was supposed to be the original title. I don't know how it got changed or anything. It's like the UK title was Zombies, so I don't know if they decided to go with the UK title when they finally released it to DVD, or what was going on with that. But, oh man, I had it right in front of me and lost it. Okay, there it is. You jumped ahead a little bit on some of this stuff, but I think that's fine because we'll get to it again, I'm sure. One of the things that I loved most about this movie is right from the beginning, you know what to expect.
Yes.
Because it's all in black and white. It's just like seeing like Night of the Living Dead or something like that, or Return of the Living Dead even. I don't remember exactly if that was, I don't remember it starting out in black and white. But anyway, with these guys transporting some chemical that they had labeled as, what did they label it as? Because it wasn't what it really was.
Baby formula.
It was some kind of, yeah, it was labeled as baby formula, but really it's this zombie stuff. So it starts with that, and what's interesting about it is I was first drawn into it from the standpoint of you're watching this black and white, so you're getting this feel for the old 50s and 60s type horror movies. And then the only thing that's colored is the green sludge that is the stuff that makes zombies. So I immediately went, oh, awesome. They're messing with the blob here. I mean,
right, yeah.
Everybody remembers the original blob. The only thing that was colored was the blob.
Right.
And then they suddenly, when they eat they're having their party and they eat this ice cream that you mentioned that's supposed to be beer ice cream and get these ice cream headaches. And then they wake up and everybody's in color. Which at first when you see it happens, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, so the rest of the movie is probably going to be in color. That's not what happens. Like what you were saying with they see themselves as intelligent human beings and everything. Everybody else sees them as zombies. So the black and white is other people's point of view of them, and the color is their point of view of everybody else.
Right.
And then like you mentioned is that everybody else sees them as really slow and everything, and what they're seeing is people talking like chipmunks and running really fast and everything. So it's interesting because it really works with this they are zombies, and the way they're perceiving things are quite a bit different than the way everybody else is seeing things. But it makes sense because zombies move slow, therefore they're going to think we move fast.
Right. There's even a point in there that they believe that they're actually super soldiers. One of the characters tells them that it's super soldier juice that they ate.
Yeah.
And that's why they couldn't die.
Yeah, and that's another one of those that plays with the stereotype as well, is that you always seem to have, we've talked about this with The Walking Dead, which I think it's funny that this movie came out so far before, But the guy that convinces them that they're super soldiers, and it was a mad scientist experiment gone awry, and somehow they turned into super soldiers, and everybody else are the ones that are just infected and dying off. This
Right.
guy is a self-professed, I'm in the military. I know how to do these things. I know how to do these things. And then we find out later that he really wasn't anybody important in the military.
Right.
So he was the guy that automatically established himself as, I'm the big bad leader, but there's nothing really special about him.
What's really interesting about this movie is the main characters that start off as the zombies. In any other zombie movie or any other horror movie, these would be the main characters that would end up being the survivors. And it's interesting because they are running for their lives. They're just running for their lives, sort of running for their lives in a different way or a different reason. But they would be in any other movie the ones that would be the survivors trying to get away from the zombies.
Right, they were the opposite of what you normally see.
So is that it? We're done with the movie?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got a little distracted. And plus, I'm listening to what you have to say. Yeah, I want to go back to the black and white thing just because I promised Sarah that I would give her full credit for bringing this to my attention. Is the black and white and the color thing. It was interesting because when that happened, about the third or fourth time we actually got to see the switch back and forth. And Sarah was sitting there. She was like, well, it's the black and white is reality and the color is their dream world that the zombies are living in.
Right.
And then she followed it up with just like in The Wizard of Oz. Now this blew me away.
that blew you away. Of everything that you've seen, that blew you away.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. The only reason why it blew me away is, and I felt ultimately stupid at the moment that it finally got dawned on me, is because I never had associated that particular thing with The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
I understood what she was saying about, this movie, but I hadn't associated it with The Wizard of Oz. And once I had combined the two together and went, oh, yeah, this makes sense now from that standpoint. Otherwise, I was already drawn in and enjoying the fact that it was, that we knew the outside world was seeing them in black and white and they were seeing everything in color. I was fine with that. But then with this concept of that this is reality and this is the dream world got thrown in there, and then the Wizard of Oz got mixed into it, and I was just waiting for Toto to run around eating people's brains. Anyway.
Speaking of brains, this is something interesting, and I had a Twitter conversation with some people on our Twitter feed that I think it was Bloody Good Horror, some other podcast, and we were talking about zombies and eating brains. And in this movie, they do eat brains. In fact, at one point, one of the characters said, "This is the best tasting stuff I've ever had." He even makes a brain smoothie, which is quite funny.
No, the best part was when he was saying, "I wonder if Mexican brains taste spicy."
Yes.
And then he ends up actually making a taco out of one of them. And he's like, picante.
But what's interesting, though, is, the master of zombies. Why did my brain all of a sudden shut off?
I don't know.
The godfather of zombies.
George Romero.
George Romero. Why did my brain just shut off?
Especially on his name. Holy crap.
I know. That's awful. I need to get a whip and start flogging myself or whatever it's called. Anyway. And so even he said that zombies don't eat brains, they eat flesh. And if you think about it, there's really only one movie or one series of movies that they really that started the whole brain eating thing, and that was Return of the Living Dead, the 1985, I believe, film.
Right, which really didn't have anything to do with Romero.
No, zero to do with Romero. They just kind of leached off of his name, or the name of the films, the Living Dead films. But, you know, and that's the interesting thing. And even he said he can't stand that because why would a zombie go for brains? There's too much to go through. You have to go through the skull. You have to get through when you have all of that nice flesh and guts and intestines right there.
Yeah. And they're nice and soft and yeah.
So that's my little brain thing. But I did like the way that they talked about the brains. I liked the idea, you know, there's one line in there and it was in the trailer that they said that talked about you know how well does an idiot know that he's stupid or something to that line, you know, and they said And it's really that whole idea of, we're, like I said, we're so used to seeing the zombies, we don't ever see it from the zombies' point of view of maybe they're just out for a stroll.
Yeah, which is pretty much the way these people were. I mean, they weren't out to try to eat people, but everybody thought they were trying to attack them, and it was very entertaining. It's one of those movies that you really have to see to understand. I'm looking at a review right now from with the director where he's kind of given his explanation, Matthew Conan of zombies, and it's actually, he says that the movie came about because him and his brother were getting sick and tired of fruitlessly developing scripts or treatments for other people to make that never happened. So he wanted to make one of their own. It's like we knew we had very little money and wanted to do something genre, and that's when Shaun of the Dead came out, and they were like, well, hey, maybe we could do something like that, but not the same, obviously. So they decided to go with the zombie POV concept, and it seemed cool, but it wasn't until we hit the black and white color shift visual thing that it really took off. We did that because I kept saying we needed some way for the audience to be very, very clear what they were watching. And then we said, what about color? It just clicked. That they could do a parody, a real parody that riffed off classic Romero films and yet did something totally new.
Right.
This movie definitely did that. And like I said before, one of the things that impressed me the most is that you could find every stereotypical character that exists in a zombie film that is usually the apocalypse survivor is represented in this film as a zombie.
Right.
They have the same. They have the same hopes and aspirations.
Well, they have the same hopes and aspirations. You have a love connection going on. You have the two main characters, Mike and Vanessa, are into each other. You have there's even a really fun part where they're playing where they're bowling, and they're trying to survive, and the only way that they could survive is to bowl their way out, quite literally bowl their way out. You have them where they try to go home and go to one of the people's houses to try to get comfort from their parents or protection with their parents, and the parents actually have a big sign that says "Zombies stay out" and are shooting at them and trying to blow them up. And I mean, this is such a fun movie because it really just kind of goes from really in a quite a little circle, but it's hilarious how they have to get from one place to another, and through most of it they don't realize that they're moving as slow as they are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's all. I'm looking at the lead character we had was played by Matthew Davis, the one that was the main comedic.
Yes.
The main comedic guy was Matthew Davis, and I'm actually looking at his background because one of the things they were talking about in all the interviews is, how did you land this guy? And I know I'd seen him in a lot of things before, and here's why. He was in Tigerland. He was in Urban Legends Final Cut. He was in Pearl Harbor. He was in Legally Blonde. Let's see. He was in Blue Crush, for anybody who's seen that movie.
Is that the surfing movie?
It, right? Yeah.
Okay.
He was in Blood Rain.
Oh, I've seen that movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, we all have to say unfortunately when we talk about that movie. So, I mean, he's done lots of, he was in Sister Darko, which I saw, but it wasn't that great. But he's also been in the Plain Sight series. So, I mean, this is a guy that gets work.
Right. Well, just to kind of break things up, I thought I found a little PSA from G4 TV that I'd like to put out there talking about zombies.
Now presents the following public service announcement, paid for by the American Association for the Undead.
Hi, my name is David Nyman, and I work here at Accounts Payable, where I'm a senior associate.
Great work.
I've been dead for 19 or 20 years, maybe 18 years. I was actually trampled at a Wham concert. I've got the album here. Love those guys even after death. After my incident, they let me come back to work, which I was really happy about because it's tough for, someone like me to find work. The thing I want people to know is that I'm a regular, normal guy. who happens to be dead. I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else.
His leg fell off.
Popular misconceptions. Eating brains. Everyone thinks it's all about brains, but it's not just about brains. I like corn. I like smoothies.
It's gonna look really good on you.
Oh, Jesus! Smoothie. I want to be treated with dignity and with respect, just like anybody would. Is there a piece of my face falling off? Gross. Dignity and respect that's what I want.
And he's eating his face.
Zombies. They're people too. Dead people.
Hey, Bob.
Zombies are people too. Okay.
Which brings back memories of American Zombie, which we talked about.
We did.
And I'm going to quickly throw this out there too. We have even more proof that zombies are people too in Rigor Mortis, a zombie love story. It continues. Okay. Anyway,
I was going to say, this is a new one to me.
Yeah, this is actually, I just found this clicking around. Love story, zombies, aka Wasting Away, started the theme that zombies are people. Now the horror comedy musical, Rigor Mortis, a zombie love story, continues on with that theme as a pair of zombies look not only for their place in a big, bad, cruel world, but also for that funny little thing known as LOVE, all while belting out musical numbers. From Ted Campbell and Dave's Dews comes a film in which, shortly after humanity has put down a recent zombie outbreak, the last two zombies left undead are looking for their place in the world. One lonely zombie hunter's newfound fame and glory can't fill the hole in his heart left by the recent loss of his now undead love. The characters are forced to confront zombies, angry mobs, double-barreled shotguns, and an ever-dangerous thing called love, until fate brings them face-to-face in an explosive finale.
Nice. By the way, speaking of Campbell, as we're recording this right now, I just glanced over at the TV, what my TiVo is recording, and they are showing the movie premiere on the USA Network of Burn Notice, The Fall of Sam Axe, with none other than Bruce Campbell as Sam Axe.
Now, is that for the movie?
Yeah.
I understand they're working on a Sam Axe movie.
This is the movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, this is the movie right now, and
awesome.
It's like a prequel to Burn Notice.
Awesome.
So, just throwing that in there. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to, because it's got my favorite, one of my favorite actors, Bruce Campbell,
who's been in the best horror movies ever created.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I'm going too far. Maybe I've gone too far with that.
Anyway, back to zombies. No, I think that everybody should watch this. It's if you have Netflix, it's free streaming on Netflix. I was able to watch it in bed, on my Roku box that I love. I was also able to watch it again on my company's iPad. It's nice being able to have the streaming stuff like that. We really need to get them as a sponsor. Anyway,
yeah, definitely.
So this is a movie that I would definitely suggest to go out and see, to go out and to watch it, because it's a fun movie. You're going to have a great time. It's something to take lightly. It's definitely a comedic horror. It's not intended to be a scary movie, but it's got that horror element because of the zombies in it. And it's one of them movies that you can watch over and over again, and probably find a few different tidbits here and there, because they drop a lot of one-liners. Did I lose you?
No, you kept cutting out on me, and it was probably because I'm using too much bandwidth.
Well, stop using bandwidth.
But I would agree, it is definitely one of those movies that, in fact, I've looked at several top 10 zombie film lists. I don't know why I've never noticed this before, but apparently they're on. Well, not necessarily the top 10, but if you look out there for zombie movie lists, you're going to end up finding this movie on it.
Yeah. I think the first time I heard this was actually a friend of my wife's said, "Hey, you guys should talk about this. You should watch this. This is a great film." And up until then, I never actually heard about this. And then when I started doing, a little bit of research, I'd find it in blogs, people talking about it and loving it. One at I think it was the Scream Screamfest. It was the audience. It got the audience award for Best Picture. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's I can't say anything more. You know, especially after our last podcast where I hated the movie, I'm going to go out and say, you know, on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to give this a 4.5. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely a great movie, and it's one of the things that make it great are how well. I mean, obviously the characters the people who played the characters did a fantastic job doing it. The humor is dead on perfect and no pun intended. and on top of that, though, it's just like it's the way it was written was molded almost entirely around, like I said, the stereotypes that we have seen in every zombie movie, and then it just threw them on its ear. It's the whole reason why I loved Shaun of the Dead. You know, that's the reason why I think this movie is really good. I'm gonna go up there. You know, if I were to put numbers on it, I'm gonna give it a 4 because I don't think it surpasses Shaun of the Dead, and Shaun of the Dead's gonna be my number 5 movie for this category of zombie films. But it's definitely a good movie. It definitely needs to be seen. It needs to be on everybody's list for sure. Definitely.
All right. So with that, do you have any news for us?
I have a few things I could throw out there.
All right.
All right, I'm not gonna throw out a lot of stuff just because. But anyway, this is a big weekend for Wes Craven, as everybody knows, because this is when Scream 4 got released.
That's right.
Released. Yeah, it got released.
And you know, I have the trailer for Scream 4 if we feel like playing it.
Do you?
Yes. Are you saying
probably play it?
I should probably play it. Okay. Well, let me fade down the music. Music.
Robert's residence.
Welcome home, Sydney. You're a survivor, aren't you, Sydney? What good's it to be a survivor if everyone close to you is dead? You can't save them. All you can do is watch.
Modern audiences have become savvy to the rules of the originals. I mean, there are still rules, but the rules have changed.
And the kill's gotta be, like, way more extreme.
The unexpected is the new cliche.
And virgins can die now.
To be the new version, 2.0, the killer should be filming the murders.
Yeah, it's a natural next step in psycho-slasher innovation.
Go ahead if you have the guts. Well, it's time for someone new to die.
These aren't just random killings.
There's something really scary about a guy with a knife who just snaps.
I hear you like horror movies.
It's for you.
All right.
Yeah, and it's interesting because in 2 days it's already number 2 at the box office. So I guess that it's a testament to shows that people want to see what's going to happen next in the Scream category, movies. Wes Craven's obviously Scream. The first movie was definitely fantastic. I can't speak for the second and third very much because I'm not too sure I cared that much for him.
I liked it. I love the whole Scream franchise. I thought the first one was amazing. The second one was very good. The third one was very good. What I liked about all of the Scream movies is that they, just like zombies, they took what we knew as a cliche, what we knew was going to come, and they didn't insult the audience because they knew that we knew all the rules to horror films in the first one, and then we knew the rules to a sequel. We knew the rules to a trequel?
A trilogy.
Trilogy, that's what I meant to say. Or a trequel. And they knew all that, and so that's what they messed with, is taking that knowledge and turning it on our heads for us.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously with the fourth movie, the lessons are that all the rules are thrown out the window and they start over again once you get to the fourth movie, apparently. because that's what the trailer is pretty much telling us. I think maybe there's a reason why My Soul to Take didn't do so well, and that's because everybody was holding out for a much better film, which would be Scream 4. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'll admit to that much.
I am too. I wish I had time this weekend to see it. We're recording this on Sunday. What is today? The 17th. So it came out 2 days ago. And hopefully within the next week or two, I'll be able to get to the movie theater. Because the thing about a horror film, really to get the full impact, you have to watch it in a theater.
Well, especially that type of horror film as well. And the one that I've already seen, which isn't even a horror movie really, but it's a really awesome movie. Hobo with a Shotgun, people, you have to go see it. Okay, back to the news.
Yes.
We all knew this was going to happen as soon as he was done reigning over California. Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger is in talk with people over Terminator 5. Are we excited?
No. No.
Okay then.
Terminator 4 was awful. Terminator 3 was awful. Unless they go back to like present
I'm
time.
not saying that they should keep making them, that's for sure. And just suddenly decided to bring Arnold back in all his glory. Not that he was really missing to begin with.
Yeah, we don't need one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that one, and it probably doesn't need any further discussion beyond that. This one is horror. This one is horrible for all housewives everywhere. All My Children and One Life to Live has been canceled.
I knew about All My Children, but I didn't know about One Life to Live. Although I've got, hold on, let me pause this. Actually, it's about to run out anyway, so I'm going to pause that, fade down, turn back up on you. I've got something even scarier than that. You want to know what it is? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah!
Partying, yeah! Oh, Joel's never going to want to talk to us again. Because he so defended that 13-year-old girl.
No, I'll defend her, but...
And then, another one that I have, and then I'm going to go to the big news, at least I consider it to be big news, is the next one I want to talk about is, I've seen the trailer for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I know I'm not the only one who's seen this trailer, but can I say, do we really need it?
I thought the last Planet of the Apes, the one with Mark Wahlberg, wasn't bad.
No, I'm going to agree, and Joel and I sort of had this discussion on Facebook that obviously the original Planet of the Apes movies were fantastic.
Yes.
And then when Tim Burton did his version, it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't horrible, and I think it added to the legacy pretty well. I don't know why we need a prequel to everything. Here's one of my reasons why I don't think we need a prequel to everything. You realize that the original 5 movies told us how it began.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing with a lot of prequels. If you watch the movies enough, you know how the whole backstory to stuff, and I think that's a better way of telling a story, is do it through small backstories.
It was almost literally, though. They already showed us the prequel.
Yeah. So, do you think another ape movie though will be a hit?
It depends on how much you like CGI apes, I guess, because that is one of my complaints, is that everything in the trailers seems to be all CGI'd monkeys, and they're monkeys in regular monkey form. Whereas I think part of the draw to the original Planet of the Apes, and even Tim Burton's, was the monkey suit.
Right.
It was truly, I believe that was truly part of what brings you into this film, is that you're seeing these monkeys really are evolving to, they're standing up like humans, they're walking and talking like humans. This movie isn't really showing, the trailer isn't really showing us that. And I feel bad for James Franco. I really love him as an actor. I think he's just he really stepped on a bag of stuff for this one. But, maybe
he lost a bet.
Maybe I'll be proven wrong and it'll be awesome. I mean, I guess the effects crew for Avatar are the ones working on it that have done all the effects for it. So
So
I didn't
when you say
think it looked
CGI, you aren't kidding. And then, is it going to be in 3D?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not one of the things that they're pushing. So I don't know. Next on my list though is anybody who follows my blog or who has been following the Facebook will notice that I've been posting a lot of things about a new movie that's being filmed right here in Albuquerque and Santa Fe called Odd Thomas.
Yes.
I'm kind of really excited about this one because I've read all the books, so I'm a fan. I'm already a fan even before I found out. And then I've been following like all the characters the people they've been bringing into this. I've had a lot of questions about how they're going to pull this one off because I've looked at it from, well, Stephen Sommers is the director. He's the guy who created The Mummy. The new Mummy with Fraser and everything. Now, if you were to base all your decisions entirely upon that movie, you can't really imagine Odd Thomas being that great.
I don't know. I thought The Mummy was really good. We're going to be, we have an upcoming episode, not next week, but sometime in the near future, where we're going to look at the original Mummy and the remake of it. I believe it's 1999 remake.
Yes.
And really, I mean, they're the same movie, just done with better technology, better filmmaking techniques.
Oh, and I'm not sitting here saying that I think it's going to be a failure. Trust me. I'm just, as I'm watching this progress, though, I'm like listening to hear who the actors are and everything. And, the first couple of actors, and I've talked to many people about it, who've agreed that, the main characters are being played by almost virtual nobodies. The one guy is known for, the guy that's playing Odd Thomas is known for, probably the only thing I remember him from is the remake of Star Trek. He played Chekhov.
Oh, okay.
And let's see, the girl, I actually can't remember what she was in prior to. Oh, Californication. She was the daughter, I believe.
The blonde-haired girl
in Californication. And then, but some of the names they've been pulling in on this one, I feel that it can't be anything but great. I mean, they're talking. Well, so far, Tim Robbins is still rumored.
I was going to say that's what I saw on IMDb is Tim Robbins and I need to go to
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. That's who I was thinking of. Why is my brain just completely shut off today? It's Sunday, or maybe it's Friday. I don't remember.
It's Friday. Anyway, Willem Dafoe.
Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Sorry.
But Willem Dafoe is a definite, and I think that that's going to push this movie. I mean, that's given me a heck of a lot more to go with on this. I haven't posted this to the blogs or anything yet, so I'm letting everybody know here first, even though, they'll probably read it on the blogs before they actually hear it from me. Dean Koontz has actually gone on record with this film, though. Said that he's looked at the script, and he believes that Stephen Sommers understands these characters, if not better than as good as Dean Koontz, who created them. Which I think is that's a good selling point. And Dean Koontz has never said that about any of his movies before. And if anybody's ever seen any of the movies that were created from his stuff, I know not many of you have. There's a good reason, because they're not that good. One of the favorite things that I have about this is that Dean Koontz said in his statement is that he believes there's not many A-list directors who can write great screenplays. And of those who can, I'm not aware of any who, as director, has screwed up his wonderful script. So pretty sure that he's not going to screw up this wonderful script that he's written. Dean Koontz's other comment was, if he manages to do that, I promise you I will beat him senseless. He's bigger than me, and I'll have to sneak up on him, and I might need chloroform. Yeah.
Chloroform.
But I will be relentless. Okay, anyway, to make this a little shorter, because this is so close to home for me, I've been following this one and trying to, and pestering everybody left and right. I intend to keep on throwing a bunch of blog stuff up there and working my ass off to see if there's any way in hell we could talk to Willem Dafoe. And I will keep everybody posted if that's possible.
All right, that sounds great. Any last things you want to say for the news?
No, I think there's lots of news out there. I just don't feel like any of it's worth talking about. Don't go see Red Riding Hood. It's Twilight with a werewolf.
Oh, really? I was actually kind of looking forward to that. Well, no, Red Riding Hood trailers looked amazing.
Bad. It's not really bad. I wouldn't say. But I got halfway through the movie before I went, why does this look so much like Twilight? And for some stupid reason, it never dawned on me that the director was
the
Twilight.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're really, but it's a hell of a lot more artistic. So I will give it that.
All right.
Let's see. Beyond, I haven't seen anything worth talking about. So.
All right. Well, I have seen something worth talking about.
That's right.
So last week I told you to choose a YouTube video for me to watch. And the YouTube movie that was chosen was 1988's Don't Panic. Okay, so Don't Panic is, there's a reason that it's on YouTube and it's free. This movie was so horrendously difficult to sit through. I think I'm punishing myself for something I did in another life by doing this YouTube stuff, but I'm going to keep up with it and I'm going to keep doing it. So Don't Panic, here's a quick plot summary for Don't Panic. On his 17th birthday, Michael is given the present of a Ouija board by his best friend, Tony. While at the party, they decide to have a session. Tony using the Ouija board as a medium to channel a ghost called Virgil. Virgil unwittingly locks evil forces, letting Virgil through. Soon there is a wave of violent killings, and the chief suspect appears to be Michael. He has been a witness to all the killings via premonitions and an out-of-body experience. Is Michael the killer? Can he prove his innocence? Or is somebody else being possessed by the evil spirit? Yes, somebody else is being possessed by the evil spirits. I'm going to give away the ending. The killer is Virgil. That's it. And he's...
Well, okay.
So I'm going to play... there's no trailers for this, but I did take a quick clip just to kind of show you a little bit about the movie.
Michael, remember the Ouija board? Virgil is doing the killing. Michael, this time you have to stop him. Don't fail. Robert's the next to die.
What the fuck is that?
Find Virgil, take the dagger, and use it to kill him.
Who are you? What do you want from me?
I'm Tony, and I need your help.
You're not Tony. Tony tried to kill me yesterday.
No, it wasn't me. What you saw was only my body, possessed by Virgil. Somehow he has taken control of my body.
You're Tony.
Yes, he's Tony. So yeah, this movie has some awful writing, some awful acting. The cinematography is awful. This is one of them movies that you watch purely to make fun of. You know, one of them movies that are so bad that you have to watch in a group so that you can crack jokes via Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right, and that's basically what this movie is. It is exactly like that. It was directed by Ruben Galino Jr. I really suck at names. And stars a bunch of nobodies that don't even have their pictures up on IMDb. The main character, Michael, is played by John Michael Bischoff, and his love interest, Alexandria, who is an exchange student, is played by Gabriella Hessel. What's funny about this movie is this is pure 80s schlock. You know, this is going back to the 80s when they decided, you know what, we're going to crank out, you know, B, C, and D rated horror films like they're coming off an assembly line. It's very help me out with that word.
Formulaic.
I was going to say formulamatic. No wonder I couldn't say it.
That sounds like a more impressive word.
I'm pretty sure I just made that up.
It actually makes it sound like a good thing. It actually makes it sound like a good thing.
But it's that word. And it's like I say, it's one of them movies that I suggest if you're going to watch it, get a bunch of friends together, get some popcorn, some stuff to throw at the TV, drink a lot of alcohol, and have a good time with it. Maybe smoke some weed in the process. The hardest part about this movie is half this movie, Michael, who's supposed to be in high school, so Michael meets Alexandria in high school, instantly falls in love with her. This whole movie spans the course of like 2 nights, and somehow he, professes his love with her. And they have that quintessential 80s dating scene where they skip school and they go out to the park and they get their pictures taken, and they're wearing crazy hats, and they do, and it's it's that background 80s techno music going on that's basically all MIDI. Yeah, it's very, very 80s. And that night, he gets these premonitions in his dream. His mom, during this time, I found hilarious, because evidently she has a doctor on call that'll shoot her son up with Tharzine. That's a good doctor.
Awesome.
That's a good doctor when your son is having nightmares. So you call the doctor in the middle of the night, and he comes and shoots him up with Tharzine. And in all of this, at one point, Michael, like I say, he's supposed to be in high school, is wearing a full pajama suit. Full pajamas. And he gets this premonition / dream that someone is going to die at the hospital. I believe her name was Debbie. And so he runs to the hospital. He climbs out his window in his pajamas, goes to the hospital. It is so awful, so bad. And then comes home, and his mom, of course, catches him as he comes in. That's when she calls the doctor and all this stuff. After the doctor gets there, she goes down and just starts hammering alcohol and taking Prozac. I mean, it is a great yuppie family right here. I think that one of the best parts, and I'm definitely going to spoil this, Michael dies at the end, and I was never so happy to see a main character die. So
wow, you make it sound like a Shyamalan movie.
Yes. Any questions about the movie?
I don't know, man. You said it involves a Ouija board, which means it's got to be brilliant.
Of course.
I'm sorry, especially these days, now that ghosts are making such a big comeback with movies like Insidious, and I guess there's a couple of other ones I was reading about that are supposed to be able to be coming out soon. So ghosts are making a serious comeback, dude, and it's like what you described to me is better than Poltergeist.
Speaking of Poltergeist, that scene that I played for you,
yes.
The kid, they ripped off a ton of other shows or movies, by the way, to make this. A lot of other scenes and stuff. That scene right there that I showed you, they ripped off Nightmare on Elm Street with the premonitions and the way that the stuff happens in his dreams. But in that scene alone that I played for you, this scene where you're hearing them talk.
Michael, remember the Ouija board? Virgil is doing the killing.
He's actually coming out of the TV. The TV's on static, and he's coming through the TV, just like on God, my brain sucks today. You just said it a minute ago.
Poltergeist, yeah.
Yes. And she comes out of the TV and she says, "They're here."
It sounds like an awesome movie, man. And I'm glad I'm not the only one who's willing to torture themselves for everybody else's enjoyment.
Exactly. Speaking of torture, since we didn't get any emails or calls last week on what movie, remember, these movies, this is your guys' chance to get back at me and make me watch a horrible, horrible movie. And if you don't call in or send us an email to let us know what you want what you want me to watch, want me to suffer through, then it's up to Jeff to decide. So we're going to go to the YouTube. Hold on, I need to do that again. Go to the YouTube. All right, Jeff. Pick a number 1 to 4.
1 to which?
4.
1 to 14, was it?
No, 1 to 4.
4. Oh, okay. Let's see. 3.
3. Okay, we're going to 3. Now another 1 to 4.
1.
1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 to 15.
5.
I am going to be watching Red Scream Nosferatu.
Ooh.
So
that's got to be good. It has Nosferatu in the title.
Yes. Red Scream Nosferatu is an edgy, blood-drenching revisioning of a classic original vampire film. When Jonathan Harker travels to Castle of Count Dracula Orlok on business, he instead becomes a prisoner of the Count and is playing with the Count's 3 vampire brides. When Orlok abandons the castle to make Jonathan's wife Mina his new love, the 3 brides seek to transform Jonathan into their new master through ritual of torture and blood, fusing elements of the original film and ... And by ... that's what it has for the on the YouTube thing.
Yeah, it just sounds like it's the original film.
Let's see. Stop playing. Fusing elements of the original film and the original Dracula novel with a steampunk aesthetic. Red Scream Nosferatu plays respectful homage to the original film while infusing new blood into the classic vampire tale. All right, so now I'm going from ghosts to zombies. Wait, no, ghosts to vampires. Zombies? We went from zombies to ghosts to vampires. Right. So that'll be...
We're almost covered them all.
Yes. So that's my next YouTube... My YouTube watch. I need to come up with a title for this. But yes. Red Scream Nosferatu. All right, I think that's about good for our show today. What do you think?
It sounds good to me. I mean, we have to decide on something for next time around, but beyond that...
Well, we can do that afterwards, all right? So we'll see you guys
we'll do it
We'll do it in secret. All right, we'll talk to... Maybe we can, catch Scream sometime this week. Scream 4.
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest maybe doing a Scream type thing, because everybody's doing that now, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me start up the music. And I'd like to let everybody know that if you'd like to get a hold of us, you can call our listener feedback hotline at 206-350-0411. Send us an email at thecreepercast@gmail.com. Where else can they get a hold of us, Jeff?
Since you kept cutting out, I don't know for sure what you said. I'll say www.creepercast.com.
That's right. You can also
Facebook.com/creepercast.
And on Twitter at twitter.com/creepercast. Thanks for joining me, Jeff.
Thanks for joining me, Jason.